Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Gray Man Prepping. It is time for Survival Saturday, and tonight's topic is dun, 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 after your home is destroyed, what are your plans now? And how's everybody doing out there? Get some things straightened up here. Let's go ahead and get to the comments over there. There we go. I say hi to everybody. First one in was Moon over Miami, then the Virginia Bushcrafter, followed by Diana I3V, then Aideneer, Cold War Prepper, Vanessa Kitty, Utah Mike, Daniel Berry Sports Highlight, and there we go. And it looks like we may have one or two that are lurking. Lurking is fine, folks, but you can just check in and say, hey, I'm lurking, and that helps out with the algorithms and matrix and everything on YouTube. All right, so it's good to see everybody again. For those that were here earlier, I was over on streaming live from Shadow Scouts Swedes channel, so we both were streaming it, and that was an interesting topic we had there today. It's one that's, as most of the guys on were saying, they've never seen it talked about before, but I know I've talked about it with Uncle Al, and I've talked about it with Dave from Southern Ohio Prepping about 5 or 6 years ago. So that was about your succession plans. What happens when you're gone, and what happens to everything to take care of it while you're gone. But so we had some really good information going on over there. All righty, so tonight, after your home is destroyed, let me just go, what are your plans now? Usually for these after the event videos, I tried, I'm starting out doing a whole bunch of some of the more outlandish call it fantasy stuff going on out there. But so what I try to do is I forgot the warning: possible fantasy, fear porn, Kool-Aid drinking ahead, zone ahead, but not tonight, because tonight's going to be more serious and more actually down to earth, because it happens quite often around the country. All right, so let's jump into it here. All right, so causes for your home being destroyed. Well, there's man-made or on purpose, and man-made neglect, and then nature caused. And in talking to one of my friends yesterday, talking about this one coming up here, and we were talking to stuff, and the man-made on purpose seems to have gotten worse over the last 5-6 years. And froze. And so, on purpose used to be, oh, someone set a fire and burned your house down with arson. Now it could be a bunch of other things, including rioters and taking it out. Somebody breaking in, these home invasion people sometimes get in there and they start destroying things, and not meaning to start arson, but they start a fire. Others going to start breaking water lines and stuff, and your house gets flooded and basically so soaked it is destroyed, and all the sheetrock's got to be replaced. And depending on how long it was, like if you're on vacation, they had the water running. It was running for a week while you're on vacation. It could be a lot of structural damage too on it. Yeah, nature caused there. We'll get to that one in a minute there, Mike. And um, electrical stuff, them screwing around with your electrical boxes and causing shortages, that which results in a fire, but it starts off as some other type of damage. But on purpose, there are a few things. Then there is the ones that want to drive their car through your house because they took an offense at something you said, and they have no self-control. They're childish and have not been taught to take responsibility for their actions. And so they run a car or a pickup truck or whatever into your house and ruin it. Man-made neglect goes back to the builders and contractors that you've had working on your house to maybe convert a room or add a room or something like that. They don't follow code. Kaylin Strain just came in. Prepper 1013's in here. And so there are things that, people do by neglect, out of stupidity, out of being cheap, out of just not caring. And usually it's a handyman, contractor working on it, or the original builder on it, taking shortcuts. I've seen some really scary reels on Facebook where these one is don't do this home inspections. Another one is something or other home inspection. They go around doing videoing while they're doing their home inspections of that's what they do for a living, showing all the stupid jack blankety things people doing, contractors doing, and not following code. One of them was I'm not sure who ran it first. I think the electrician ran the wire first, and the plumber was supposed to run into had the things marked where the water line was supposed to go. Came back the next day and was drilling it, and the electrician had come in and put an electrical box right where the water's supposed to go. And they just drilled a hole right through the box and ran the PEX pipe right through it. Yeah. So there are other ones where they were for the rafters and stuff up in the attic and stuff, not putting tie plates in, not putting screws in to tie the supports and stuff together. And so things just hanging around up there, which if you're in snow country and it's not tied together right, you get snow on there, all of a sudden there's nothing supporting it, and come crashing down in it. Oh yeah, that can be man-made homeowner neglect or man-made people coming in and installing your furnace, your stove, your water heater, whatever, and not doing it right. So I'm just catch up on the chat here. Yeah, this gets to more of a SHTF or not even SHTF. It could just be a disaster where all the fire department guys are elsewhere and your area catches on fire. But we're going to talk about fire a little bit more under natural causes. Checked off. It depends. Incompetence could be someone, a new apprentice, really trying to do good, and he just screws up and he doesn't know something right, and then it's neglect on the person's the journeyman that's supposed to be double checking his work to make sure he did it right. I have one word for this one. Begins with an S, ends in a D, and it's all capitalized. let's see other neglect things. Homeowner not thinking, oh, I got a brand new house. It's got a strong roof. I don't have to get up there and clean the snow off of it. It's kind of nature, but it's also neglect on the homeowner's part. Is hey, if you got a couple feet of snow building up on your roof, you need to get it off of there. And once they're going, oh, it should slide off. That's why the roof is sloped. It should just slide right off. Have you ever seen some of the videos out there of snow on roof fails? Yeah. And some of those fails aren't the roof collapsing. It's guys up there getting out there with a pole, standing under it, and it comes down on top and buries them. All right. Nature caused. All right. I was just going to cheat and do a quick Google search of the 10 top reasons for homes being destroyed. And of course, Google's AI was trying to say, oh, being destroyed. Nature, only nature destroys homes. I'm like, what the crap is this AI, screwing up about? But anyways, what they said was number 3 is actually the number 1 cause for houses being destroyed in the U.S., and that's fire. Because the AI wasn't counting arson cases. It wasn't counting accidental fires from the kitchen, or fires from Christmas trees, or overloaded circuits that were overloaded of space heaters and stuff, which are also man-made neglect and stuff. But fires, nature-caused fires, all you got to look to is California. For the last decade or so, seems every other year they're having major fires out there. Sometimes 3 years in a row. Santa Rosa burnt nearly completely to the ground. Last year down there in Los Angeles, I just had a brain fart here. The one area where they were trying, the tree huggers that lived in that area stopped the Southern California Edison from putting all the big transmission lines underground, because there's a plant there that's endangered, and you guys can't exercise any care and make sure it's left, or dig some of them up, move them over, whatever, put it in, and then move them back. No, so they stopped. They got a quarter stopping it. And that whole area down there just burnt. There's none of those plants they wanted to save gone, because they're trying to blame it on the power lines. And the power company said, hey, we tried to put it underground. You guys stopped us. Lightning strikes. Yes, absolutely. Lightning strikes can cause, sometimes they can cause fires, and sometimes they'll hit just right. And if you have all black iron pipe for your gas in your house, it can blow the pipe apart. And all right, you had a lightning strike, house isn't on fire, but the gas is leaking. And as soon as the furnace or something comes on, boom. Oh yeah, there's been some fun ones with contractors. Candles, yet back to man-made. Candles left unattended. There's a bunch for fire causes for man-made. Northern California, Santa Rosa and stuff, Vacaville, Fairfield, those are PG&E fires. Southern California, PG&E does not get into Los Angeles County at all. In fact, I'm not even sure. They probably stop at the Grapevine there, so the bottom of the Central Valley. So yeah, the fires down in LA and Long Beach and San Pedro, those are all Southern California Edison area. But they have a lot less trees there. But I don't know how they're blaming it on the power lines when the wind really wasn't blowing at the time. Of course, they also wound up arresting a few people for arson. So, but not all of them were they able to arrest for arson, because some of they said, yeah, one of the ones they said was a lightning strike. All right, Mike. Have a good night. All right, nature caused, we caught that. Fires, number one thing. Number two, storms. And storms is right. I mean, it's right close to fire, because you have hurricanes, tornadoes, ice storms, excessive rainstorms causing flooding, flash floods. So I mean, it's right up there. It's right up there, close to it. So storms are a lot of problems for taking out houses as well. With fires being mainly a summer and fall thing, storms are the rest of the year. With the storms, let me think here. All right, so yeah, winter storms hit in a 1-2 punch. One, they dump snow on top of the house, and roofs collapse and stuff. They dump snow on the slopes behind it, avalanche. The other one is they take out the power lines. So the snowstorm, ice storm takes out the power lines. Now the house has no heat, because there's no power, even if it's on natural gas. There's no, yep, okay, yeah, I always mispronounce the super high horizontal shear winds. And even if you have that natural gas, you need the electricity to ignite, to power the igniter and power the blower to heat the house. Well, if the house temperatures get too cold in the wintertime, all of a sudden you have water lines breaking. I've showed one picture. I don't have it up here, but I showed the one picture of the garage when the heater in the garage went out, and they had a loft area with a like a bathroom up there or whatever, and the water lines all froze in the garage, and the garage several feet of ice up and icicles hanging down like stalactites all over the place, and it was basically it was ruined. If it happens in the house, I've also shown some winter pictures of like looks like a frozen waterfall coming out of the roof above the kitchen from the toilet upstairs when it froze. And so winter storms can dump snow on top of the house. They can break the power lines. They can drop massive balls of hail that can punch holes in the roof, break the windows, tear up the side of the house, just totally destroy it. As can tornadoes, of course. Now, correct me, I don't think I've ever heard of a winter tornado. Has anybody heard of a winter tornado? Where tornadoes happen where temperatures are dropping below freezing? Because that could be a problem too. All right. Snort. Mark's here. Hey, Mark, I emailed you the link if you want it. Yeah, dirt on power poles with a misty rain or snow coming down. Yeah. And that can cause power spikes into the home, causing certain appliances to. Oh, here he comes. Hey.
Sorry, wife came home. I was pulling my jars out of the canner, and yeah, I sent Tammy a text about the superb lids. I think there's something I didn't do right. You're supposed to crank them down a little tighter. I had chicken broth do the sprinkler system on my counter. That was ugly because it was like 230-degree chicken broth shooting everywhere under the ring. And yeah, so I pull them out and crank the rings down on every one of them. Hopefully, I don't get any false seals, but I'll figure it out.
Yeah. Well, that's something else going to destroy your house. You know.
Yeah. Pressure canner blowing up. Oh.
Not jars blowing up and just. Anyways.
Yeah. Don't spread those vicious BS lies. They don't blow up on you.
They do. You take them as soon as you pop it, take it out, and set it on the cold counter.
Well, you don't put them on a cold counter. You put them on a towel.
Yeah, I know.
Grr.
Okay, way back in Iowa history, there was a winter tornado. Okay, because usually it's winter tornado. You know, tornadoes don't go into the wintertime usually.
No, they did. Truly, they call it a snow-nado. That's why I put that in there.
Oh.
I'm like, yeah, it was a snow-nado. It happened out in Ohio back in the 70s. I forget. It was wintertime, but something happened with the weather patterns. It was a hot, cold front met, and it created it was a tornado, but because there was snow on the ground, it was just a white tornado. It was a snow-nado.
Yeah. So never say never on what Mother Nature can do, especially when she's on her beer. All right. Other nature causes. Okay, we cause winter storms, fires, earthquakes. And don't tell me earthquakes don't happen in every state, because I got records of earthquakes happening in every state. But fortunately, earthquakes are not as common as winter storms, which happen every year.
Unless you live in California, in which case it's a daily occurrence.
Only if you live up by the geysers above Sacramento. And lately it's been down to like every other day or something, instead of 3 or 4, 1.4s, 1.2s, 2.1s.
I'd be more worried living next to a ancient volcano that has some minor activity over the last 15, 20 years, because they're all popping off like they're brand new. It's like, oh, it's unprecedented. Yeah, no, it happens. But anyway.
Yeah, we'll get to Hawaii here in a minute. But yeah, nature caused earthquakes can do that. Earthquakes can cause problems when it's not even shaking your house. It can do like example down in LA, up Big Tujunga Canyon. They get flash floods up there probably every other year, if not more, like every other 3/4 of a year. So, they may get one year, not one the next year, and one for the next 3 years, and not one. But they had a little shaker there, and it was after a rainstorm, and guess what happened? They had a big mudslide come down and dam it off. And then they had a bigger rainstorm. Well, that mudslide wasn't much of a dam, and it came down and it took out a few houses.
Ain't nothing you're doing about that when all of a sudden half the mountain decides to slide down into the valley and your house is there. You're just going for a sleigh ride.
All right, here it is. Like I said, I've never lived in tornado area, and I've never seen tornadoes in the wintertime or at least in California or Arizona, they don't put it on the news.
Oh, it was 2013. The only one I remember was way back in the day.
Yeah, this is 2 years ago. So,
yeah, Snow-nado.
Yeah. Okay. Like I say, they're not. I guess winter tornadoes aren't as big as the the summer fall tornadoes going through Tornado Alley? I don't know.
Well, it depends on the climate and the weather and clouds and fronts and lows and highs and things.
I'm going to switch something up here for a second because I need to jump forward and see. Yeah, the number 4 on my list was volcano eruptions. And so you got the volcano eruptions where? Let's see. The Ring of Fire. So you got it. I'm just trying to think off the top of my head. How many volcanoes are there in California?
There's actually hundreds of them, but they're not. Most of a lot of them aren't named. They're just old calderas that they're antique, but
the biggest and most nasty in history is the Long Valley caldera, and it hasn't really had a major eruption in 5,000 years.
You got to wonder when the all the not the fracking, the ones they put water into the ground, take steam out to turn the turbines. They put those in all around these ancient calderas, around them, not in the middle of it, around it. Mm-hmm. And there's hundreds of thousands of them. If you go to Google Earth and just start scrolling around, you'll be appalled.
Oh yeah,
and
all right. So I was trying to think of ones that are considered still active but sleeping. Mount Rainier, Mount Shasta. I can't think of the other one right now, but there are several there in California. The Southern California got the the Long Valley caldera. There's a couple others not down in LA, but to the west of it, little small ones continue along the Magna Field there near the Nevada border, heading on down. Arizona, on the eastern side of Arizona, there is it's right by the town of Aspen, Alpine. The town of Alpine, Arizona is right in the middle of it. And it's a big, huge field. And like one will pop and it'll go for years and 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 then stop. And then the pool moves over and pops up here. There's a whole bunch of them there. And the last eruption was like 5,000 years ago, 10,000 years ago. But yeah, it's still considered sleeping because they still get rumbling underneath it of the magna pool and the land moving over the top of it. So it's moving towards New Mexico. And
okay, 7 out today. Yep.
And then of course Washington has 2 or 3. Oregon has 2 or 3. Washington has 2 or 3. Then on up into Canada and up into Alaska. And Alaska had a 7.0. At least that's what it was upgraded to. And I got I don't know, like 40 emails from the USGS on all the aftershocks around that sucker. And they're all up in the 5s.
You should look at volcanoes on the Aleutian Islands. There's actually a couple hundred of them.
Oh, yeah. Every
now and then one will pop off. Not a lot. I mean, we're talking like a 3,000-foot ash cloud, not much, but they don't explode. They just start oozing, and then they shut down.
Oh, yeah. Mount St. Helens, yeah. Mm-hmm. Hey, Glenn, how's it going? So, yeah, everyone thinks Hawaii right off the top of their head. Volcanoes, Hawaii. Kamehameha, all of them, But yeah, like Alaska. Hang on, give me a second here. I'm just going to Google this. How many volcanoes? Okay. In Hawaii, there are 6 active volcanoes in Hawaii.
And 40 inactive.
129.
Oh, okay. That was off. What about Alaska?
That's okay. Alaska.
600-700.
it says Alaska has about 140 volcanoes and volcanic fields. More than 50 have been active in the last 300 years. A volcano field can have upwards of 50 volcanoes in it.
Right.
All right. So yeah.
What's the big mountain in Alaska? Everybody loves to go see it. Shoot, the great one.
Denali.
Denali, no. Yeah. That's actually a volcano. It just hasn't erupted in a long time.
All right. All right, get rid of that. I was thinking of what was there? Oh, I know what I was going to show. Let me get it here for you guys so I can bring it up there. Take this, bring this over here, put this back, boom. Just about every one of these ones on a landmass where the lines are a volcano.
Yeah, it's the
Ring of Fire. These are volcanoes. Even here, I mean, everyone says, "Oh, Los Angeles doesn't have a volcano." La Brea Tar Pits is on top of a volcano.
Yeah. And where do you think all the earthquakes are happening and the volcanoes? Oh yeah, around the Ring of Fire. Why did a lot of them reactivate within the last 3 days? Oh, that's right. We had a huge solar event.
Oh, massive. Yeah.
Yep.
But we are lucky it hasn't popped off. And hopefully it won't pop off until it's no longer Earth facing. But
can you imagine if there's a couple earthquakes within hours of each other all around the Ring of Fire? The tsunamis all around would be unreal. If they're underwater earthquakes that have catastrophic land failures.
Who was it? It was one of the scientist guys said that if they had volcanoes all around, tsunamis will start going from United States to Japan, from Japan back to the United States, and guess what happens?
Each other. Yeah,
they negate most of their energy.
Yes and no.
Most. Not all.
You ever done that in a swimming pool where you make a wave and two people make drop a ball in at the same time? The waves go towards each other, but they pass each other because their energy, it's not, the water is not moving really.
Yeah.
It's an energy thing, not an actual something rolling along. Everybody thinks a wave is, it's rolling along. No, you're not bringing water over from Japan to the United States.
Let me go in here. Yeah. So this is first reports that it was down in the Alaska side, but it's up on the Canada side here. Yeah. So let me change this to just only the ones on the map here, just showing what's in the map here.
Hey, click on the big one, copy paste the coordinates, and go to Google Earth and paste it. You can see what's there. It's really cool when you do that. It's kind of freaky.
Yeah. So this is showing 55 of the 309 earthquakes in this area. Why is it not showing the other earthquakes? Because I have it cut off at the lowest it'll go is 2.5.
Yeah.
So that means there are a lot more below 2.5. A whole bunch of 2.4s, 2.3, and right on down.
Yeah, now it shows you how deep it was because you have deep earthquakes and shallow earthquakes.
Yeah. So this one was 10 kilometers deep.
Right.
Not that deep.
The other ones are all about in the same range, probably anywhere from 6 to 12.
Yeah. And so, you got your locations right here. Guys, if you go, this is from latest earthquakes last 7 days, USGS. And you go in there and pull this up and do your own look around on it. All right. So, but yeah, there are volcanoes around this area here and volcanoes here, volcanoes down along here, volcanoes on this island, volcanoes on these islands. Yeah. All right. So volcanoes is another thing you can do it. Let's get back here to the other stuff. Oh, someone was saying, Yellowstone supervolcano. Anybody that really follows it knows right now it is a non-player.
Well, anybody who understands the USGS, they shut off most of the sensors there because it goes off all the time, and they shut them off. So you're not going to really see much of
what it's doing. It's breathing, and if it's breathing, it's not building up pressure. If it just keeps going up and 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 up, it's building up pressure.
Right, but the USGS
Tennessee Tactical Ones in the house.
But they shut off all the sensors there because people were reading into it too much.
Yeah. All right, so let me go back up here. I saw something here.
Mm-hmm.
We're taking 4 Madrid fault line next 72 hours.
Yep.
I want to know. I want to see his real science for predicting that.
Well, you know what? If you go back and watch some of his earlier videos, if they're still available, because they kind of took him down and he got sued by the USGS. But whatever. You got to watch it to understand it if you're just going to guess at it. Now, I've been watching him for years.
Yeah.
And predictions, yep, he's usually pretty spot on. Might be off by a half a magnitude or 0.1 or so. And everybody bitches like, oh, you were wrong. It's like, okay, whatever. But the locations in that and the way he has his map set up, you should go watch it once. You just sit there and listen to it without a, with a neutral thought about it. And he's pretty slick. And he didn't go to college for it. He'll tell you that.
Yeah. All right. So mitigation and recovery. What ways can you mitigate the things for your house being destroyed? One, for fire, you have smoke alarms, heat sensors.
Well, that's not going to mitigate it. That's going to give you warning to get the hell out.
It'll mitigate the fact that it's starting. I can do something about it. Maybe it's just a small smoldering fire in the couch or a recliner that I hit with the fire extinguisher.
Right.
But you can go to the latest and greatest building codes for remodeling in California and install sprinkler systems throughout your house.
Yeah, I want to put that on when we build our house. I will put it depends on how much woods I have nearby, which depends on code, and insurance. But I may run a pipe along the very top ridge of the house with water jets on it.
Yeah.
And leave them empty so they don't freeze or anything. And then if something happens, I'll have a couple totes full of water with a pump where I can just turn them on and it'll just spray water and give me that nice cooling mist to keep water, any embers from hitting my shingles. I want a metal roof, but that may not happen right away.
Yeah. That's the other thing I was going to say. Metal or slate roofs protect your house from outside fires trying to come in. Yep. Metal siding. And don't laugh, folks. I've seen houses from back in the 50s that had slate siding on them. Yeah. Looked really cool too.
Or an actual log cabin, because everybody knows if you take a 14-inch diameter by 16-inch long oak log and throw it in a fire, it takes forever to start to burn. But if
did you hear what happened this year? Did you hear what happened this year to the second largest log cabin in the United States, called the North Rim Lodge of the Grand Canyon? It's a pile of ash.
Yeah. Well, let me guess. Electrical fire.
No. A fire that started 10 miles southwest of it in the canyon.
Oh, then there was a lot of heat coming up and the wind whipping over the rim of the canyon.
Yeah. It. Plus the fact that they haven't been upkeeping it anyways, and sealing it and keeping it anyways.
Yeah, well,
that's a whole other story.
That's another problem. Yeah.
That's gone. I used to go there when I lived in Arizona because I lived 65 and 20. So I lived 85 miles away from the lodge there in the town of Fredonia. All right. So, mitigating from fires and stuff, slate, metal roof shingle from side, more, sprinkler systems, more smoke detectors, fire heat detectors than what the 2 minimum required.
Aluminum siding, which is nobody goes with aluminum anymore because why? It's so expensive. So let's put vinyl on there which melts and starts to burn at really low temperatures. Yeah. And then it burns super hot. So you got a problem there. You can always go with the old asbestos shingles. I remember those.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Outside, yeah, exactly. You want to have your safe space buffer zone around your all the buildings on your property.
If you're gonna grow bushes and shrubs, grow things that are not highly flammable and that hold
Rose bushes.
Yeah, roses, stuff that if it catches fire, it either burns really fast and it's gone, or it takes a long time for it to get going.
Rose bushes do both. The leaves will go poof, and then to get the stalks and stuff to burn.
Oh yeah. You gotta burn the moisture out of them. You gotta heat the moisture out first before they burn. Yeah.
Oh yeah, terracotta tile roofs. Yep. Very good. In fact, most of the houses that survived the fires in California have terracotta tile roofs.
Yeah, but weren't they blue? Just kidding.
We're not going there.
Yeah, I know. I had to say something about it.
So for fires, there are things you can do to help do it. Inside on fires, make sure you have the proper breakers for your circuits, electrical for plugging stuff in. Don't overload circuits. If you need to, get an electrician in to add an extra circuit or two to the kitchen. So you have the microwave on its own circuit. You have toaster ovens and toasters on their own circuit. So you're not trying to do multiple things like, oh, it's in the morning. I'm going to do 4 slices of toast. All right, there's 900 watts. Well, I'm going to do the microwave. Does another 1,600 watts. Oh, it's on a 20 amp. Oh, well, we just blew the 20 amp circuit. Or you're right at it, and the whole circuit's getting toasty warm because it's just a hair under tripping the breaker.
But it means you had a crappy electrician install your stuff too. So,
or you have a manufactured / mobile home, or a modular manufactured, and they did not put, for the kitchen, they didn't put 5 circuits in the kitchen, including one being just for the lights.
Yeah, I told you the with electrical circuits. 99% of contractors will use what they call the blade connector in the back of the outlet, which is just a hole. You strip the wire back a ½ inch, stick it in there. So it's a metal blade, spring-loaded, and it's sharp, and it pushes the wire against a flat piece of brass or whatever inside there. But when you're running 12, 15 outlets in a row, stringing them along one-to-one, the one on the very end, you plug something in that's high, it's 10 amps, it's drawing 10 amps on a 15 amp circuit. All that electricity, heat is
jumping every one of those things and heating it up.
Right. Heat is formed at the highest resistance. So if you have one bad connection, or not bad, but not perfect, that's where the heat will start. So if you pull an electrical outlet out and you see a wire that's like slightly cooked, well, right where that wire is going in, that's where your problem is. Not because the load on it on the other end or the break or something like that. No.
At least here in this house, this manufactured home, what they did is they ran 12 gauge wire in, 12 gauge wire out, and a short 12 gauge pigtail to go to the outlets. That way, it's just so they got the wire nuts on there and everything else, so it's going. Yeah, that was the only smart thing they did. For the big kitchen area I have, all the plugs in there are on one circuit.
Yeah, when I built the cabin, that's all I put in there was 12-2.
Yeah. The lights
are meanwhile, I'm only drawn 15 watts for the light and 18 watts for the fan and maybe 100 watts for the refrigerator, but I don't care.
Yeah.
If I hook my generator up and want to put something bigger in there, I got literally it'll handle 20 amps.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried about it.
Yeah.
I'd rather go big or go home.
The lights are on the same circuit. So a breaker trips in there, you're in the dark.
Right.
So, all right. So that's some of the stuff for fires, inside, out, things you can do. Storms, winter storms. One
Ice storms. Yay.
of the first things I did with this house here, I put heat tape along the edges of all of the roof and everything, so I don't get ice dams forming and damaging the house and causing rot and everything else. I also have
gutters.
Clean
your gutters.
Gutters get cleaned in the end of September, and then again near the end of October. But since I took down all the cottonwood trees, I get maybe 3 leaves in all my gutters total.
Yeah. Ironically, my mom's house up in Maine, when they built it, code up there, because it gets a lot of snow, no gutters. Their overhang is 3 feet, and all around the perimeter of the house is gravel. So water just runs off. The only thing you got to put on there is those, it's like a metal channel diverter over your doorways. Yeah. So the water's not dripping on your head when you walk out the door in the rain.
Yeah. So I got the heat tape all around, but one of the problems I have with this house, I got an 8-inch overhang. That's it. Yeah. Is cottonwood good for anything? Yeah, it's good for fireplace logs.
Yeah, but they burn quick and hot.
and it's good for interior studs that are not going to be exposed to any moisture or anything else. They last a long time, but if you can't use them for fence posts or anything else like that. So I also have a snow rake for the roof of the house and the roof over the patio there to get stuff off. If I'm getting expecting a lot of snow, I'll go out and grab a bunch of firewood and stoke up my wood burning stove besides the furnace going on, and I'll get the house cranked up to 75 degrees inside, sometimes closer to 80, and all that heat starts radiating up through the roof. So as the snow comes, it starts melting. The snow's going to catch up to it, but it's going to get rid of a lot of it beforehand.
I did that in my house one year in the last place I lived. We got like 3.5 or 4 feet of snow, and I actually saw some cracks in my sheetrock in the cathedral ceiling. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, that's not good. So we cranked the heat up. We had electric heat, which was never a good day. Ooh, but I had a kerosene heater. But we had a whole house fan that was in the hallway going up. It was a split foyer or split level. And so I opened the vents on that thing, turned the kerosene heater on, and just let it run. We had the house up to like 80 degrees. And, it was like a cascade of water because the insulation was in the ceiling, not in the roof. So all the heat went up there, melted that stuff off. And, I had some big death icicles hanging in the corners. But, like, 2-foot diameter, about ready to rip the corner of the house down. But, it melted that crap right off. I was like, good. Didn't have to go up and shovel the roof because I did that the year before. I was like, I'm not doing this again.
The other thing to do for a mitigation for protecting your house in the wintertime, get yourself a whole house generator or a power station so you can keep your furnace going and any other heat sources you need to help keep the house warm so you don't have an excess buildup out there. And invest in some good insulated Carhartt bib coveralls and jacket. So when you go out there in the snow, you're toasty warm as you're using the rake to rake the snow off the roof.
Hey, did you ever see those snow rakes that have like a plastic roll on it where it's like 2 blades it cuts up and they're on little wheels? You roll it up there and like an entire slice of your roof slides off onto the ground.
Comes out of like
those are cool. I don't need one, but those are cool to watch.
Yeah. And you can set the height of the wheels. So if you have stuff on the roof, like if you have
cables, heat cables.
you can run it over that and leave an inch or two of snow on the roof as you go up there, and it slides off and it doesn't take out your cables.
Right.
All right. Let's see. All right. So storm stuff, those are some of the things you do to mitigate damage in the storm. If you're going on vacation, do not turn your furnace off. That's where a lot of problems happen. That's where stupidity comes in. They turn the furnace off because they don't want to heat up the house while they're gone. No, you need to keep it set at 55.
Yeah, keep it from freezing.
Yeah, exactly.
So in a power outage, if you have no water heater, no electric, no heat, nothing, and the temperatures are below 30 or 20 Fahrenheit, find the sink the furthest away from your water main and turn it on and just let it drizzle, not drip, drizzle. Yes, your water bill will be high, but your plumbing bill will be zero and your mitigation will be zero, because if those water pipes freeze and they blow a pipe out, you will flood your basement and nobody's coming to help you, and you will destroy everything in your basement and your house, or depending on what kind of house you have. So let it run. Forget the water bill. If you have a well, you're into a different issue there. But if the well is off, shut the pump off, because if any of those
power's out, pump's going to be off anyways.
Yep. Well, you don't want the pump to turn back on after the power comes on and a pipe is cracked. Because
the other thing to do. A friend of ours, Jim and Jean Brunk, had a cabin up in Tahoma at Lake Tahoe, and anybody using it up there, first thing they do when they go up there, they go in, make sure all the taps are open inside, go out with the 8-foot-long T-wrench, uncap the pipe going down, go down, put it on there, and turn the water on. And water should then flows into it. And after the water's flowing, all the goes out of lines, you can shut it off. And, you get a fire going in the wood burning stove. When you leave, you
open the drain,
turn all the taps on. You turn that thing again. It shuts off the inflow and opens up a drain right there.
Yep, drains into the ground, and that way there's no water to freeze in the pipes. Yep.
Yeah. So if you're in an area that freezes like that, you can see about getting one of those deep ground drains put on your water line, and that way you can just open up, shut off the main and open that up. But if you have, like some houses, you're going to have 2 or 3 sinks running, and especially if you're two stories and you have a bathroom upstairs, you're going to need to leave a sink running up there too.
Yeah.
But to avoid that, get one of my favorite things. The Mr. Heater Buddy, or Big Buddy, or Little Buddy propane heaters with the oxygen sensor on it. So if oxygen levels start dropping, it automatically shuts off. My cousin Debbie and her husband John turned off their gas furnace and never used it for 15 years.
Ooh.
No. They never used it for 15 years. What they did is they had a kerosene heater downstairs, right next to where the fireplace was.
Right.
And they just have that going. And just the one the house was in the middle of winter. Yeah, the house was 62. But they're used to it. That's what they put on a sweater or whatever else, and everything would be nice.
I got central air here, so if it gets really cold, I can. And if I lose gas, because I have natural gas, I have a heat pump. But if the power goes out, I have natural gas. That'll turn on if I can power up the furnace, which I can with my generator, and the air circulates. So the circulator's always on. So I'm always just, blowing air, whatever air, into every room. And then the returns go back to the furnace. And I have a return right down near the furnace. And I put my kerosene heater on down there, like 10 years ago, and just cranked it up. And there was nothing around it to combust, so I wasn't worried about it. And all the heat from that got pulled into the return and kept it in the 50s around the house for about a day. We lost power. but I had the generator running, and I ran just the circulator air, which only draws like 220 watts.
Yeah, if that.
Yeah, if that, and it just runs and blows the hot, just to keep everything from freezing.
Yeah,
and keep us reasonably comfortable with a sweater.
One problem, even if your furnace is working and everything's going on, you can have a problem like happened to my my sister's in-laws up in Draper, Utah, up by between Provo and Salt Lake. It got so cold, the new housing tract they moved into, the contractor was cheap. Every house had a basement. They did not put the water lines down below the frost line.
Oh, nice.
So you have the water lines coming along, and then they came up to within 12 inches of the surface when they came into the house, rather than coming in at 3 feet below.
Yep.
Guess what happened?
Frozen water line.
The water line froze, but because it was packed, it had dirt packed around it, it couldn't break right there, but it froze into the house and broke in the basement.
Yep. And then when it finally thawed, it flooded it. Yep.
No, it didn't even, it instantly, as soon as it broke, all that water there got like shooting ice out of a garden hose.
Nice.
Yeah. So they had a flood. Everyone in the neighborhood had a flooded basement. And this is when I was living in Fredonia, Arizona. And the plumbers were booked, 2 months out trying to get emergency stuff done. And so my brother, my dad, and I packed up in the truck, went up there, got with all the pry bars and stuff, found their water line, dug back down to it, dug back till about 10 feet away from the house. It got down to below the frost line. Dug it all out, dug down, went and rented a roto hammer, drilled a hole through their basement wall, 4 feet deep, ran new line into there, sanded the ditch, filled it up, sprayed foam sealer around where it went through the concrete, and once we got it inside, hooked back up to the house, and they hadn't pumped the water out. They weren't like this. Grabbed him. My dad grabbed. It was Don. Grabbed Don Wilkerson by the ear. All right, walking out the truck. We're going to Ace Hardware. Went down and got two. Flat floor
pumps. Yeah.
Pumped it dry, and then told them, all right, now you're going to mop dry it the rest of the way, and then you're going to put your electric space heaters from upstairs downstairs.
Yeah, you don't want them. Once the mold starts to grow, you're done.
Yeah, just to dry that out quick before it got warmed up enough for normal mold growth. You get it to dry before everything else warms up. All right. Hang on here. Storms, earthquakes. There's not much you can do to, there are certain things you can do for it. Most of the stuff you can do to mitigate problems in an earthquake, bookshelves, cabinets and stuff, latches, anchor bookshelves to the walls, gas dryers, make sure it has a strap on it so it can't bounce away from the wall. Gas stoves, same thing, you have it secured. And if your furnace should be totally secured anyways, but double check, make sure it's not going to bounce around. Water heaters can take a lot of securing on that for a gas water heater.
Don't they make I think they call it a shaker valve for your gas line? And I think it's code. So like if there's an earthquake, it actually shuts the gas off. Yeah, so basically what it is on the inline comes in, and there's a marble there on a ring around the outside. It bounces off that and goes down, lands in the hole, and plugs in. It has to restart it, you got to push a button back up to push it back up onto the groove around the top. Right, that way your house doesn't get a gas leak and blow up. Yeah. Yeah. So you can install one of those in there. You get one of the four-way multi-tool valves where you can turn off the gas valve, you can turn off the water valve, and you can go on and shut things off. So
The other,
my wife knows in our house, if something happens and you need to shut the gas and electric off, well, she knows where the breaker is. It's in the garage here. The gas valve is outside, and there's a big adjustable wrench I keep near the front door. It's just always there. She's like, why is this here? I was like, in case you got to shut the gas off. Because our gas line comes out of the ground, has the big gas meter on it with the 90. It's like a flat rectangular looking thing. You just put your wrench on there and turn it 90 degrees. So if that thing is aiming in line with the pipe, it's on. If it's aiming across the pipe, it's off. And I showed her, I said, just grab this, rotate this 90 degrees. That's why it's a big wrench, because it hasn't moved in years and it's going to be tight. Turn it 90 degrees. Shut the gas off. I don't want the house blowing up. Okay.
And let's see. So you secure the appliances that are make sure the gas appliances are secured really well so they don't bounce off and break the hose behind the appliance, or you just crack it, and by the time you smell it's like, oh crap, shut it off, open up all the windows and let it air out. Do not turn on any lights.
Yeah, and go shut the main breaker off on your house. Don't worry about the clocks blinking 12 o'clock. You can fix it later. You
make sure you know where the breaker is, turn it off. There are companies out there that will crawl under your house if you have what's called a cripple wall. That is, so you got the foundation down here, you got studs going up, you have not the sill plate's on the bottom, the cap plate, but it's got a different name because it's in the cripple wall, and it's usually either a 4x6 or 3 4x4s laminated together, and then the floor joists sit on top of that.
Right.
Well, there's nothing supporting it in 99.9% of the houses, except whatever's on the outside, the sheeting on the outside. And if it's stucco, all they did is they put up the tar paper with the chicken wire on it and just spread the stucco over it. There's no backing on there. There's companies that'll come in and put 3/4 inch or 1/8 plywood, cut it to size, and start putting it on all the stuff to give it so it's a shear wall so it doesn't break loose. That there's probably the most expensive commonly done item. When I say most expensive of the commonly done items, that's the most expensive one to secure your house not falling in an earthquake. All right. Volcanoes, move.
Run.
I'm sorry. That may be a nice view. That may be a nice view of the beach and the volcano up behind your house and all that nice black lava stuff going down around your property there. No, move. I'm sorry, move. Bora wanted to cement our well.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. They don't want you to have your own personal well if you're on city water because the sewer is included in your water bill. They don't want your free water going to. Yeah, that's around here too.
Here, they made most of the people shut it down. The wells in town here when they got city water. Some of them said, no, this is no longer a drinkable one. This is for my animals because I don't have irrigation water rights, so I got to have a livestock well. And they just had it converted over to be listed as a livestock well.
Yep. Even though it's drinkable, whatever.
Oh yeah, exactly. And so let's see. That covers that. Okay. Yeah, it covers all the mitigation recovery. Make sure your insurance is paid up. Make sure you have the proper insurance for your home, for the proper coverage you need to replace your home. There are a lot of companies that like in California, State Farm and Farmers and several others pulled out of one area because the wildfires are so bad there.
Yeah, and everybody else's insurance went through the roof because they had to pay it out.
Yeah. The California has state insurance that is really cheap because you're not paying your insurance agent's salary.
Mm-hmm.
Guess who pays into the fund for
Your
the
taxes.
state? No.
Who?
In California, the state insurance fund, which is cheap, which anybody can sign up for, is paid for. You pay into it. That money goes to the insurance companies, and the insurance companies fund that fund.
Yeah, somebody's still making money off of that, but yeah.
But they're not. What money they're making doesn't go to any insurance agents or the agent's boss or anyone on the chain of command. There, none of them get paid from it.
But I bet their fine print is ridiculous on what you get paid. You get paid for what your house is valued at for taxes, not the actual value.
No, you can sign up for what it. You can say, all right, it's going to cost this much to replace it. That's what you sign up for. If you're smart, you sign up for replacement costs.
It's California, and taxes and money in California kind of make me go, yeah, this is why I'm never moving to California. Yeah. Sorry.
Lewis is here.
Oh shit!
It's the Marshmallow Man.
He's gonna be a United States citizen soon.
Yay!
He didn't want to hear that.
Wait, he's not in Alberta. Alberta's the one that's going to become the 51st state.
And SK also.
Okay, that's 52nd state.
And maybe what's the one on the left coast? Yeah.
Anyways, back to this fun stuff. Recovery, for just about all these fire, floods, storms, whatever. Make sure your insurance is paid up. Make sure you have get with your insurance agent to come in and do their free belongings check. And usually you walk in with, you come in and you can video it, or they will be videoing everything you have in your house. So unlike how they screwed Caitlin over, the insurance company comes in, okay, yeah, this is all your stuff, okay, The other thing too is have yourself a firebox. Little file, and everything time you buy something, you put it in there. Anytime
don't keep it in the middle of the house in your basement. Keep it near an exterior wall, furthest away from the other stuff like your fire, your breaker box, your gas lines, all that shit. Keep it the furthest away in a corner of a house somewhere. That way, if something happens to the house, that's the last thing to get hot.
Yeah.
And at worst, you can always get an axe and chop the corner of your house out and pull the box out so you have your stuff before the fire gets it.
Yeah, all your important documents and stuff.
Yep.
But you get a copy of the video from them, so you have it, they have it, they know you have it, they know they have it, they know they have it.
Upload it to YouTube as a private video. It'll always be there.
Yeah. And so you document, get everything documented, all your receipts and everything else. If you go to craft something, keep the receipts of the craft stuff. You can also just take pictures and have a digital copy of the pictures and just print them off for them. There are things you need to do to make sure you have all your insurance stuff documented. You buy a new TV. Hey, do a YouTube video on it. Look at the new one I got. And it costs this much money. Here's the receipt. Show it on the video, and it's on YouTube.
Yeah, but keep it in the private. You can make YouTube videos private so nobody can see it unless you give them a password. So it's always saved, and that's ironic that YouTube actually allows that. I have a video on there. It's been on there for 14 years. I made it private. It's nobody's business. It's just me and my dog and a skateboard. But you know what? I like the video. I don't have a copy of it anymore. So it's just there as private. And I can pull it up and watch it anytime I want.
Yeah. So, but the thing is, you can also, if they say, yeah, it's videos on there, they're some of them are public and they got a lot of hits. So a lot of people know what I got. And if you don't pay what it is, there's going to be a lot more videos talking about how you're not paying it.
Yeah, good luck with that. Yeah.
Yeah. But if they know, you document everything, anytime you buy stuff, any things you get, they say, oh, I received this gift here, video on that too. And thing is, though, if you copy the video, you can send a link, even though it's private. You can send a link to your insurance agent. You say, hey, here's a video on something a gift I was gotten. I want to make sure it's covered under my insurance.
Yeah, good luck, because the adjusters that come out there are paid, and that there's lots of videos on that too.
Yeah,
they come out. You had a fire in the corner of the house, whatever. They come out and like, oh yeah, okay, and they look at this, that, and it's like, yeah, we'll give you $8,000. It's going to cost me $70,000 to fix it. Yeah, sorry, we're going to give you $8,000. And you get a second opinion, same thing, because they're all paid by the insurance. It's a scam. Sorry.
Well, things you also get a contractor estimate, and you get 3 contractors to come out and give an estimate. That's when the insurance company go, oh crap, this guy knows what he's doing, and that's when they cough up.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So
our contract. Okay. Next topic.
Yeah. So you want to make sure your insurance is all done, for mitigation. You want to make sure all your documentation have copies in other locations as well, like a safe deposit box in a bank, or at your cousin down the road or whatever. One of those little fire boxes, kept down at his house with everything in it. And he'll keep one at your house most likely too. So you guys watching each other's back. But those are some of the things you can do for taking care of recovery and getting ready for it. One of the things that you guys, some people aren't going to want to hear is downsize.
Yeah.
You don't need to have the amount of crap you have. My wife and I are figuring that out, and it's like, oh man, but this is, I don't want to give this away. This is so slap. Okay, I'm getting rid of it.
It's funny you said that, because I've been donating stuff, and I told my wife, I said, look, this is what I'm going to do. I have one of those the black tubs with the yellow lid you get at like Lowe's or whatever. I have one. They're lightweight. They don't hold much weight, but you don't want to store stuff in it because the lids collapse and break. But I put one by the front door. I said, look, you walk around, you see something that you want to donate that you're just done with, just drop it in a box for me. She was like, what a great idea. So we keep a giant tub near the front door. And if she's walking around or in the kitchen or something, sees something, she's like, I haven't used this piece of Tupperware in 20 years, and I don't plan on using it anytime soon. I just drop it in the tub, and it goes to donation. And then I take it down to the Purple Heart, which gets you get a better bang for your buck, and it's not going to some CEO's freaking salary. And and I take it down there when it's full and unload it, and then they give us a little barcode, and you just go on there, and I take a picture of what was in there, so you can go in there and say what was there and the average value and all that stuff, and good stuff. So hey, I'm gonna go on mute. I got one of my guys call me. I'm gonna go on mute.
All right. Yeah, like at least says your bug out bag, or your I don't call it a bug out bag. It's like, oh, relocation. This is stuff we got to take with us to. If it's a partial damage to the house, and you got to be out of the house while they fix it. But yeah, and you can keep if you have stuff digitized onto a thumb drive. You can keep one of these. I mean, you can get a 6. I got a 6-pack of these for $10, and these are. It doesn't say on it. I think it's 6 gigabytes or whatever. And you keep one in each glove box of your cars. So I think I covered everything enough for this. So what things you can do? What are your plans now? Plans are to take care of things. So if you lose your house, you don't, you might be able to stop from losing it. And if you do lose it, make sure you're able to recover from it. And unfortunately, in this day and age, insurance companies are the only way to go, unless you're lucky enough to have enough money to constantly dropping more than what you've been paying, twice as much as you'd be paying for insurance into a high yield CD and roll it over all the time, where you have a lot more money available than you would from a insurance account. So, yep, evacuation bag is the other one there, Kaylin. Yeah, evac, relocation, whatever. It's you're not bugging out the hills. You're just going elsewhere temporarily. All right. So I think that covers it for everything here. Any questions that I missed that you guys were typing in there? All right, let me go ahead and get. Tennessee Tactical 1 is live right now. He went live 20 minutes ago. All right, ran over a little bit. And where are we going here? Here we go. Okay. So, yeah, I'm trying to get back into this. I boo-booed and missed some stuff here. All right, let me get back up to the top here. So, coming up, Monday on Camp Patton Family Compound with Tammy and Mark, we're going to be talking about soup mixes, dry canning jar, or vacuum sealed jar, or vacuum sealed bags, or whatever, different ways of doing it. Yeah, I'm working my way back into it. Tuesday? Thursday. Thursday, I had grandkids over, and Friday yesterday I had a sick grandkid over. So yeah, I skipped those, but I'm slowly working around to get my daughter to have the kids over there, so I can go live and do stuff. All right, so soup mixes on Monday. Back here on Gray Man for Tactical Tuesday, which I am doing at noon. I think I may push it back. I think I may push it back to 1 or 2 o'clock. See how it goes. Let's find out when I'm going to get more viewers. So Tactical Tuesday is, do you have your winter gear? Yeah, this was supposed to be a couple months ago, but yeah, I've pushed things back here. Thursday should be the midnight ride. Next Friday, I got a topic here. It's the staff sergeant's birthday next Friday, so I may just put up some you go do a little short birthday special for her. Maybe not. She does not like birthday parties. Since her birthday's so close to Christmas, all her relatives and stuff gave her one present. Oh, this is for both Christmas and your birthday. So she's kind of still carries a grudge against having birthday parties where she gets stuff for Christmas, or, oh, you'll get yours at Christmas time. So we'll see what happens between now and then when I talk to her, if she wants to, do anything. If not, I'll have something going on next Friday. And then next Saturday, this UK Urban Prepper's been talking about stuff like this, but I've had this on the schedule since last December. After World War III starts, what are your plans? So next one's going to be more along the lines of, World War III's coming. What are you going to do? So, all right, everyone, take care. Stay safe, keep prepping, and I'll see you in the next live stream. All right, bye.